Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Greetings, it is good to be back on Thursday when I am not dead.
This is very good. Ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific comer himself, Zealeus.
It is good to see you, good sir.
Good to be seen. This, of course, is the Thursday Night Hangout. It is a weekly live show where we try our best to cover the topics that are most important to you with you during the show. If you haven't submitted a topic, a question, whatever, have no fear. You can just drop it into the chat, be it if you're watching this on Facebook, on YouTube, or Twitch. It'll pop up in the chat box, and we will try to add it to the show. If we, unfortunately, run out of time, we will add it to next week's show. Now, Noodle Boy has pointed out that he has a topic, and he's actually he will be in the in a specific section of the show, so he will absolutely be talked about. But that being said, let's start off with the first topic that everyone's scratching their heads at, maybe, or going, okay, I can understand, and that, of course, is Netflix is going into streaming games.
Duh.
Right. I mean, let's be honest. We have cell phones that make phone calls, that watch videos, that play music, play games, surf the net. If you're going to have we want everything in one place. And if we can have that, that would be amazing. So that's not really it's not all that like earth-shattering. But I do like the fact, I understand a lot of people probably don't see Netflix as already kind of sampling the gaming world. They actually have some like choose your own adventure stuff. If you want to, so like an interactive type of show or movie. I highly recommend that you check it out because they've got some of the technology. They, of course, have created a brand new gaming division. As of right now, it sounds like the gaming will be will start off with no additional cost. I'm sure that will probably go up as Netflix tries to work out deals with publishers to get, of course, rights to stream their games.
Yep.
Though I'd be very interested to see if Netflix reaches out to maybe like indie games. I don't know how, because they're still going to need a publisher. And I'm sure that they're probably going to need some way of, I wonder how they're going to emulate it.
Probably like the Stadia does, I would imagine.
Yeah, probably. Or the Luna. The Luna, of course, is Amazon's.
Hear a lot about today.
Do what?
Both of which we still hear about so much today.
I know. I'm just the news of the Luna and the Stadia are just breaking down the door. It's like On Live and Game Tap and what was that other service?
GameSpy, GameFly?
No, that was Game Tap.
Game Tap? There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I'm not surprised. What would really be awesome, and of course this is Noodle Boy goes, who's Google Stadia?
It's the latest Google product that will be discontinued in 6 months.
It's like Google Wave.
Or Google Plus.
If you remember that. Google Plus. There you go. Now,
I guess what used to be Google Hangouts?
Oh, Christ. The thing, okay, so here's the thing. Google Lenses? Yeah, that too. Here's the thing. This is a pipe dream. This is not going to happen for a while. But if they could somehow do games the way that they've done the original content for Netflix, but for games, where do I sign my soul away?
You mean create new good content for existing IPs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you want more of the same is what I'm hearing.
What I want is that same strategy, but applied to not only shows and movies, but games. Get it done. That's what I'm saying.
I guess we'll see.
Yes. Speaking of Netflix, I have been watching the shit out of like all these foreign like suspense thriller horror shows. Man, they're good, but they're messed up. And I am happy to admit that I have taken the time and listened to it in its original voice track and just read the subtitles.
I watched Bone. What is it? Bone and Shadow, and
Yeah.
over the weekend.
Hmm.
Finally,
Well,
I know
okay.
it came out a while ago.
You watched. I have not watched that, but I can tell you that I've probably watched 4 or 5 series in like since last we talked.
I was cynical, like, how good is it going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched the first episode, and I definitely did not stop.
Really, my
Yeah,
wife tried the first episode. She goes, "No, I'm good."
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It's like most shows.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the characters are definitely more interesting than others,
Mm-hmm.
who we want to learn more about. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say much, obviously, and give away the show because it's still definitely in the new show time frame.
Right.
I think you would like it. I thought it was good stuff. I'm definitely. I mean, they've already announced season 2 is coming, so I'm definitely eagerly now awaiting season 2. I mean, it's one of those shows that my original plan was to actually wait until season 2 came out to watch season.
The patented Zealeus approach to everything.
Yeah, that was my original plan, but I just gave in. I was like, I can't take it.
Mm-hmm.
I needed something to just like watch, take my mind off of everything else in the world for a while. Actually, I think I watched it when I was sick. Actually,
Well, there you go. That's actually smart to help pass the time.
but it's definitely a show. But it would also be worthwhile, to be fair, to wait till season 2 comes out to watch season 1 because it's definitely like most TV shows. It's that kind of show.
Okay,
Well,
I'll take your word for it. Like I said, I haven't watched it. I will admit that there's I believe it's Icelandic. It's a show called Ragnarok, not to be confused with the War of Ragnarok, which is an anime, which
Ragnarok, which is metal.
which if you haven't seen it, all I have to say is check out Aphrodite. But there's
hard not to.
Yeah, she kind of takes up the screen.
It doesn't matter. You're not going to miss it.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, there's another one, and it's basically like present day. I think it's like Norway, and in this very small town, the Ragnarok, the battle's still actually going on.
Yeah, I mean that's been on my Netflix to watch list for a while now.
The second season came out. I watched both seasons like that, and now I'm like, son of a bitch.
No, I need more.
I know. I need more. Damn it, give me my fix. But
every time I see The Witcher, I'm like, where's my season 2?
They're too busy working on the spinoffs. Actually, I think they just wrapped up filming season 2.
They wrapped up WitcherCon last week also.
Woo, WitcherCon. Was it virtual?
Yes. Well, the stars were live. So like first it's like the panel with Cavill, like it wasn't remote in that like we're doing. They were in the same room at least.
But evenly spaced, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make that clear.
No, it's socially distanced. Come on.
Evenly spaced, social distance. It's the same damn thing, as long as they're 6 feet apart.
I will say, if there's a actor who I like as a person, it's Henry freaking Cavill.
Actor that I like as a person, the award for me has to go to Keanu Reeves.
Well, okay, can't go wrong with Keanu Reeves either.
I'm just saying. The dude takes like cuts from his contract so they could get the bigger names to join him in movies. All right. He helps pay for stage crew and like if they someone needs some help or maybe some surgery, he's like, here you go, here's the money. Good guy. Okay. Now speaking of, let's continue with I guess TV and videos and all that stuff. I think we all saw the writing on the wall, but it's now official. The 13th Doctor is going to be exiting after the 13th season. Jodie Whittaker and the showrunner Chris Chibnall are both going to be stepping away after this upcoming season. Now, here's the super sucky part. Because of COVID, it's going to be a very, truncated season.
Yeah.
We're talking only 6 episodes. However, to offset that, there is going to be 3 full-length specials that will be aired next year, 2022.
Wow.
So they actually added an additional one. They had 2, which is one's usually like the holiday one.
Yeah.
They always have like some kind of Christmas one, but they're going to do 3 of them. So basically you got, I don't know, the feature lengths are probably like what, an hour and a half?
Thereabouts, yeah.
So you're talking about 4.5 plus the 6 episodes, so 10 hours.
Yeah, but still a nice chunk of Doctor Who.
It is, absolutely. I'll be very interested to see where they go next. I really don't even want to think about it though. Like I don't want to start guessing who the next Doctor is just yet.
I wonder if they might think about taking a break at this point, because it's been about 10 years since they restarted it again with.
It's the 13th season of the restart.
Well, okay, there you go. Wow. Only I actually listened to what you said.
I'm trying to help, Zealeus, okay? I'm trying to give you the knowledge you need.
Sadly, I'm past help.
Apparently.
After 13 years.
Yep.
I don't think most people, even the most ardent of Doctor Who fans, would be opposed to a nice little hiatus, maybe. It worked so well with the current iteration of Doctor Who. I still have not got past the Peter Capaldi years.
Oh, God, dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm way behind.
Okay, so
part of the problem is I don't have BBC.
What a failure.
I know I am. I can't count. I don't watch BBC. It's just all in shambles.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think maybe. They've basically, you've got some other very strong series that BBC has. Luther, of course, with Idris Elba. Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch. And you know that they didn't do season and then another season and another season. They had to space it out because the stars had other stuff to do. So I think my problem with, the Doctor taking a vacation is that the for the past 13 years, the Doctor has been there to fill in the gaps between all the other BBC shows that I watch that take time off.
Okay, that's not unreasonable.
But,
I can see that.
I wouldn't. The other thing is that I think the showrunner, I think, basically started when Whittaker took over because the Moffat left just as Capaldi was wrapping up, I believe.
The showrunners. Doctor Who is one of those shows where the showrunner gives it such a drastically different feel. And to go with the lead actor, I would say probably more than it seems like. You think about most shows, the star, that's what makes the show.
Yeah.
Even if it's let's just say NCIS, right? You have Mark Harmon, who's been with it the entire time as Jethro Gibbs. You have Supernatural with how many seasons? You got the 2 twins. So it's you have most shows, you don't have that changing of the leadership. Right. That doesn't make Doctor Who so unique, is you have such a different change of pace and tone.
But the other thing is that you could get away with the change of the main character because the Doctor, he evolves. So,
it's a brilliant, creative structure that they have to give it that continuality that other shows necessarily don't have organically.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see. But let's look forward to 6 more episodes and 3 full-length specials to be coming down the pipeline for that.
Nice.
Now, I swear to God, like a bunch of these movies that I thought were already out haven't actually come out, and The Black Widow is one of them, which apparently Scarlett Johansson suing Disney
I just
for
saw that.
violation of contract for their Disney Plus stuff.
Well, yeah, it's the big issue now is so you always had Hollywood accounting with the revenue from the theater gate was always sketchy to start with.
Mm-hmm.
It probably was all these contracts. They're always written for basically either the theater or syndication on TV.
Right.
And now what the Disneys have figured out is like, oh wait, if it's all done via streaming, that's not really theater or syndication.
Yep. So they don't have to pay the stars extra.
Exactly. So that's what the basically the lawsuits are over. And for Johansson, it's her potential probably. I mean, it is her last Marvel movie, so she can kind of maybe piss off Marvel and try to get the rights that she's deserved.
Speaking of us, I guess like nerdy, I guess superhero movies, maybe not really, but I really want to see the Ryan Reynolds Free Guy movie.
Oh, you mean like Deadpool without a mask?
Basically, he's an NPC that becomes aware that he's an NPC.
Yeah, I saw the preview. I'm like, oh yeah, I know that's kind of like the thing with Ryan Reynolds is he's just himself in Deadpool, and that's how it seemed watching the preview. Like, it's Deadpool because it's Ryan Reynolds. It's the same person.
Okay. Well, I mean, the beautiful thing is because it's Deadpool is that if you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend going to YouTube and see the critique of between Deadpool and I can never remember the other dude's name. He's like the rocky alien character from Thor Ragnarok, and they're just sitting there on Deadpool's couch, going, "Okay, let's see what this is." And of course, the snide remarks and all that stuff, Deadpool style, where you can't go wrong. I mean, let's be honest. And of course, Deadpool 3 is apparently a thing, which I'd be very interested to see where that goes.
I mean, I would expect so. Deadpool's a hopping franchise at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So, one of our devout fans and follower of Alter Confusion from conception, because I actually worked at the company that I was working at, which was a mobile game developer. One of the QA testers, which longtime friend of mine, posted something on Discord, which of course, if you want to join Discord, just hit us up. We'll give you the link. For some reason, from time to time, whatever the bot is that we use, or maybe Discord keeps the link expired. But anyways, longtime fan Devin, which I just called Dev, wanted to talk about now of course I've lost where the hell I opened up the screen. Isn't that just fitting? The play date. Now, Zealeus, you actually pulled up some more information on the play date, but the play date is basically this kind of like retro-looking Game Boy-esque feeling system that you actually have to crank to get the power. And it's going to basically, they're going to release games. I think they're going to release 20 games, and then they're going to release a couple as time goes on. It's all going to be like black and white, like Game Boy. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems interesting. I mean, anytime that a new platform, a potentially unique new platform comes out, it kind of catches my eyes, and thanks to Dev for making us aware of that. But I have to say, as cool as it sounds, I have no idea how this will work. I think this is going to be one of those niche things that I think it's like they've got over 20,000 pre-orders. Pretty sure that the gamer pool is going to end up being probably 30 to 40,000 players, and that's probably going to be the extent of it. I don't see, I don't see it taking off. But what the hell did you do?
Wow, this is fun.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. God, jeez almighty. Zealeus is trying to just
Whoa,
dick me over
what
tonight.
the hell?
Okay, now
Can I kick myself?
I don't know.
Wait, hold on.
I sure as fuck can't. There we go. There we go. I got you. Yep.
Oh, now I'm all center again. Good lord. Wait.
You good. You good. You good.
Am I good?
All right. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Zealeus is trying to dick around. But anyways, play date. Thoughts.
It's so the way I look at it is it's more like a fun project. The other way,
Kind of like a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah. And the other way I've kind of seen it leveraged potentially would also be as a learning platform, because it also comes with the SDK for using Lua or C to be able to do some little programming magic on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so like if you want to do some fun software or maybe like teach like basic game development, I think that could be another way of potentially doing it. So I think it's just an interesting little project. I think it's kind of cool actually that they're doing this. The only thing I guess that kind of makes me blink would be the 179 price tag. And I know there's other stuff that goes into it, but I think about like, for instance, the like you can get a PlayStation or a Xbox Series S for $300.
Yep.
Now I know you need the monitor to go with it, but for basically an extra $130, you get a whole lot more. So that's where I'm kind of like, huh, that's interesting.
Well, the thing is, because of that they probably don't have a large manufacturing thing. They're having to small scale it so that they got to check out the price. It's like if you were to make if you make Alta Confusion t-shirts, if you were to sell them, and if you were be able to mass produce them like for a Target or Walmart, the price is probably gonna be $8. But if you're gonna do it through a print service, or maybe you buy all the damn shirts and do it yourself, you're talking like $20 or $30. I mean, hell, the shirt that I'm wearing right here from Grind Gaming, I think it's what, $45. Which unfortunately, they've got to they got to cover. Where are they based out of? I did not check that. Does it say? Portland.
I know
Portland, Oregon.
U.S.
It's Portland, Oregon.
Okay, there you go.
So you've got shipping cost and of course manufacturing costs. I mean, 179 is a little steep, but then you look at like the new iPhone every single fucking year, it's like $300.
Sure.
Unless you've got a contract.
I definitely do not. I mean, it's also kind of cool because it's also like small miniature. So like, if you're going somewhere, you're traveling for a few hours, you can just kind of toss it in your bag, and it's super small. So
I'd be very interested to see what TSA has to say about the crank.
That's actually, they're gonna see it and be like, "What is
this? A wind-up bomb?"
I'm so confused. I don't even know what this is.
I mean, really, when you have like an item that's going to be unique to the vast majority of the world, because 20,000 pre-orders, and I'm going to predict probably 30, 40,000 owners, period. You take that through the airport, I'll be very interested to see what TSA has to say about it.
Yeah, it's very bizarre in that regard. No, it's cool. I like it. I think it's fun. I mean, I could see it being kind of neat for some like younger kids. Like, here you go, entertain yourself.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't really released a lot about, I know they're going to provide the SDK, software development kit, for those kids out there who don't know what SDK means. But I'd be very interested to see how easy it is to import your application or whatever, and also how you submit it to the list of things that will be available, and if there is any incentive for your creations. Because that'd be very, there's a lot of other information I would love to find out as a previous developer, and of course as media.
Well, and it also has the little crank on the side
Mm-hmm.
to also play your games with, which, it's an interesting little addition.
You don't have to have a battery because you are the battery.
I know, that's very unique. We'll say that much.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's not super power. It's basically Game Boy-esque technology, like screen with updated technology. So I'm pretty sure that you crank it for a little bit, that bad boy's going to run for a while. It's not like that. I always bring this up. It's not like the Sega Game Gear where it burns through 6 AA batteries in like a matter of an hour or two, depending on how intensive the game is. Which, by the way, Defenders of the Oasis 2 for the GameCube, not the GameCube, the Game Gear was amazing. But I had to constantly be plugged in because I ran through batteries like it was going out of style.
Oh, yeah. The old portable devices were not known for their electrical efficiency when it came to the juices.
There's nothing efficient about it.
Now you could run your Tesla off your Game Boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to get on my soapbox just for a second here. And this goes out to all those publishers and developers out there. If you have a toxic environment where harassment and abuse and like racism and bigotry happen, get your fucking act together. I understand that it's easier to ignore it or to shuffle the people around because you're afraid that if you release like, a high level guy because he's been with your company forever, that he'll end up against the, against your company as in one of the, competing companies. But let's be honest, if the dude is a serial sexual harasser or is racist or, a huge bigot or whatever, and he gets hired by another big name company, I'm pretty sure that the employees of that new company are going to be like, what the shit?
But unfortunately, that's not the case.
I know.
That's the problem, is that, whatever these asshats do at these companies that is successful from a
financial
perspective, financial perspective of
Yep.
producing the widgets, they're doing that well. But when it comes to anything that has to do with being a decent, a good human being, they're terrible. And that's the problem, is very much so the widgets outweigh the personal aspect.
Yeah.
Especially when you're answering to the Wall Streets and the
Your
bottom line of the world.
Stockholders.
Yeah, the stockholders. And of course, the big profits for your executives. Because unfortunately, that, you read these reports, and a lot of times it's manager, executive type levels who either A, are doing it, or B, they're the ones shuffling them around.
It's all about the power.
Yeah, so they're totally in on it, and it just sucks. You read about the woman who committed suicide because she was she was having her nudes sent around, and they were just laughing about it. And it's like, what the hell is wrong with people?
Well, so, it's the reason why I bring this up is that yet again, we've talked about Ubisoft a couple times. Now, Activision, Blizzard, they had a fucking walkout because of the shit that was going down. And that's just 2 companies. There are a ton of companies that run into these issues, and there's other issues out there. I know that I guess industry experts are now, for the most part, keeping an eye on the overtime without overtime pay,
Yeah.
super crunch time. But that shit still happens.
Because you love your job so much.
I love my job. I never want to go home because I can't. I'm chained to my desk.
I guess the way I look at it is, unfortunately, so we see these movies like Ubisoft, people are angry at, now they're buying Ubisoft stuff again.
Mm-hmm.
6 months from now, people will be back on the WoW high. And everything else is ultimately until basically CEOs, the ones who are actually at the top, either A, lose their jobs in their golden parachutes, or B, are held liable, like actually go to jail. It's not going to change. Like you look in that case of the one, there was a case with eBay where they harassed, their security personnel harassed this review website of like basically doxing them, sending them shit in the mail. And like one security guy, and the high level execs knew about this, and like the one security guy got 18 months in jail and $15,000 fine. When that's all that happens, nothing is ever going to change.
Right.
Until those in actual power who are enabling these decisions are actually held culpable for their actions. Unfortunately, they're just going to shuffle around, and I hate it, but I just don't know how it's going to change unless it's not tilted against them.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's going to take. Let's just put it out there. It's going to take more than a slap on the wrist. It's going to take. It's going to have to be something hefty. And to be honest with you, for those out there who may not be sports fans, what the NFL is trying to do with COVID coming this year is like this is finally, in my opinion, this is a shit that should happen. If you're on the coaching staff, you have to be vaccinated. If you're not, you cannot be on the coaching staff.
Yep.
If you have a player that if you have a player that does not have a vaccine, did not get vaccinated, and they get COVID, and they're with the rest of the team, that team will have to forfeit. And well, actually, the game will either be rescheduled, or if it can't be rescheduled, they'll have to forfeit the game. And this is the part that really shows you the NFL is being fucking serious, and that is, if the game is canceled or forfeited, the home team, the team that caused the cancellation will have to pay back the amount of money that they should have made off the broadcasting rights.
Yeah, and to me, that's actual meaningful repercussions for an action that will make people take action.
Exactly.
Actually, that's what it takes to move the needle, is something like that has that financial impact. They'll be like, oh, wow, this isn't just talk. This is something that's actually going to affect our bottom line. That's what it comes down to.
It takes more than a slap on the wrist, a very heavily edited letter of apology and promise that things will get better.
That I may or may not have actually ever read.
Let's be honest. Anytime this shit comes up, you're gonna have some high level guy going, "I am appalled and confused by the corruption and toxicity within the company. We're going to fix it, and we're gonna make those that were in the wrong accountable for their actions." Which either could be you are the manager of tech of I don't know, the design department. Now you'll be the assistant manager of QA. Congratulations. But you keep your pay.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, enough. We say this too much, and I hate that. Let's get our shit together. Let's hold each other accountable. Let's make shit change. All right, now, for my favorite part of the show, and that is, of course, I'm going to stop for just a wee bit and thank our friends of the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's start off with the one and only Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts that challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. If you want more information, go to Indie Cluster. That's INDIECLUSTER.com. Now, of course, the next thank you we've got to give is Hero Chiropractic. I have been a client of Hero Chiropractic for, 3 or 4 years now. It feels like forever. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore, the company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible, heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They're committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible. If you want more information and you are in the greater Atlanta area, go to herochiropractic.com or just put Hero Chiropractic in Facebook. You can find them that way. And finally, new to the thank you section, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to our latest friend of the show, and that, of course, is Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Whack Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia for more information.
I prefer Twitter.
Too
late.
There you go. Well, they've got a Twitter, but I think correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Noodle Boy himself, but I believe he wants everyone to go through Facebook because that's the thing he updates the most.
Fine.
So booyah. Now, of course, since we did the friends of the show, I also need to do some housekeeping for Alter Confusion. So, ladies and gentlemen, Alter Confusion for the 10th year straight. Whoops. Wrong one. Dang it. I accidentally... There we go. For the 10th year straight, Alter Confusion is proud to say that we are fundraising for Extra Life. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, gaming, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network Hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to our chosen hospital, which of course is Children's Healthcare Atlanta, as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars you raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Alter Confusion today. Now, the icon that popped up by accident is, of course, I want to talk about Alter Confusion has a Patreon page. Alter Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you, Noodle Boy. And so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, the supporters, the lovers, the sinners, the fighters, the winners, the losers, the aliens, the whatever you may be, to be active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. What this does is it will give you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. Basically, what the money goes towards is upkeep for Alter Confusion and the ability, and basically it allows us to go to conventions, to interview those amazing indie creators, give panels, all that stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are currently 2 tiers that you can lock into for a monthly price. The first one, of course, is $1. That would be $12 a year. And what that will give you is early access to all the playthroughs, which Anna's Quest is the early access playthrough right now, but there's another one that I've got in the pipeline. It is a horror game. I believe it's called The Beast Within. I'm going to be totally honest with you. This one I do have the mic on, so you're getting commentary, and I do squeal quite a few times when shit comes out of nowhere. Now,
You're a squealer?
huh?
You're a squealer?
More like a kind of guy, but it actually got me. Now, of course, with the early access to the playthroughs, you gain the ability to take part in polls and other information to help shape Alter Confusion. Now, of course, we do also have a $5 tier. Now, that is $5 a month or $60 a year, and that will net you your name or organization added to our thank you section every single Thursday night hangout, the section we just went through, and of course the early access to the playthroughs and the ability to help shape Alter Confusion. If you're interested, go to www.patreon, that's patreon.com/altered confusion. Now, just because someone asked me to do this, I'm going to do this because they find it funny for me to do this section. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not want to do if you do not feel safe going the financial route, but you still want to send something to Alter Confusion for us to feature on a show, we do have a P.O. box, and let me tell you, it is the place to send us stuff so that we could showcase it on our show, as well as we get to thank you for being awesome. Zealeus apparently wants cat food or a snail. I'm not exactly sure how the snail will work, but whatever.
I think in all of you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to send something physical to Alter Confusion, be a t-shirt, coffee mug, stickers, whatever, or Funko Pop, all you got to do, or other things, all you got to do is mail it to 1551 Dunway, that's DUNWOODY, Village Parkway, number, and this is super duper important, ladies and gentlemen, number 88276. Without that number, it will not get to us and will be returned to you within 3 to 5 business days.
That'd be important.
The city is Dunwoody, so once again, DUNWOODY. The state is Georgia. The zip code is 30338.
There you go, sir.
And because I'm checking it more on a regular basis, I have not run into the unfortunate snafu that was, I was scared of COVID and they sent back packages. Those bastards. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I do want to quickly talk some gaming here. For those out there who have been paying attention, I've been playing a lot of Legends of Runeterra because there is a special event going on to, of course, net you some special cards, some special icons, and some special guardians, which are the little pets that are on the side of the board. And of course, they've released at least 2 new characters, a bunch of new cards. I'm liking it. I mean, and they've really put a lot more effort into the lab section. So kind of like experimental gaming, just to give you a different pace.
Interesting.
I got my ass whooped in the latest mode, which is it's like an adventure mode, kind of like adventure mode RPG where you've got like a map that you start in one spot and they've got a bunch of branches that you could take for battles. And then it's basically circle, line. And each circle is like either a battle. It could be a healing place, could be a treasure, could be a shop, or a battle, or a boss battle. And you have to basically battle your way across the map.
Oh, like all of those Battle Royale games, not Battle Royale, but like idle battle games in the iOS store have like those type of maps.
Yes, it's kind of like, for those out there who've played, oh shit, what's the name of that game?
Idle Heroes?
No. It's more along the lines of, there's a game I played the shit out of. What the is it? That's gonna bug me now. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. Once upon a time, it was in my Steam, so let's see if I can pull up Steam here.
Oh, Legends of the something, wasn't it?
It was called
It was that idle game that you're playing, right?
Something Spire.
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I played the shit out of that. Slay the Spire, which basically, or there's a bunch of other games. Hell, the same mechanic for Round Guard, where you start. This one, you're going across the board. You got, it's basically a map of that section of the world, and you get to choose your route. Round Guard, you're basically going down, where you've got different branches, and of course, Slay the Spire, you're trying to get up to the top of the spire so you could face the monster that lurks at the top of the spire. But yeah, man, I've been playing a ton of that, and I've also been streaming Crimson. Damn it, I knew I was going to do that. Scarlet Nexus. I don't know why I want to keep saying Crimson, but it's not Crimson. It's Scarlet Nexus.
Is that a new release?
It's a newer release. It is very much like Dot Hack with the friendship mechanics of Persona.
Oh, interesting. Is that good or bad?
I enjoy it. I think that you would stress out a little bit. Well, actually, they do provide skip scene, so maybe you'll be fine. As many of you know, Zealeus does not like reading in games.
I just want to stab you, stab.
Exactly. You got a lot of combo attacks. You got two main characters you could choose from, and then you could have party members. You have two active party members with you, but then you also have two in reserve that allows you to utilize their special skills without them actually being on the battlefield. I have to say, I've liked it so far.
Interesting.
I have put 18 hours into it, so that says something.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah, and it's a good change of pace from the Beast Within, which seriously, it's gotten me several times. You can put as much blood and gore and just violence in front of me, I'll be like, okay. But you give me jump scares, and it gets me every single freaking time. Not every single time, but you're more likely to get me, because then I get to the point, which is already happened in the game, where I'm like, okay, I know something's gonna fucking happen. So I'm all tense. I'm like, all right, I am ready. Nothing fucking happens. And then I'm just like, okay, fine. And then boom, it happens. You're like, that's the way you do it, son. So, and of course, I've been continuing to play on the iPhone a game called Dicey Elementalist. I think that's what it's called. Let me make sure that I'm right here. Yeah, Dicey Elementalist.
I tried it. I could not get into it.
Really?
Too much. The RNG was just too much for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those out there who do not know what RNG, Zealeus?
Random number generator. So basically, when you go to your battles, you roll dice, and you hope that the dice match up with basically tech cards. And the randomness of basically the dice between both me and my opponent, I just infuriated me. And I was like,
that's why you need the artifacts.
this is true.
And also choose we lost the feed.
I still hear you.
I know. Okay, it's back. It's back.
You have to choose what, sir?
You have to choose artifacts that are going to help you, but also I always go with cards that don't have a specific color associated with it. So as long as I get two of something, I can do an attack.
That's true.
But
it's not. I should put it this way: it's not a game I would not recommend. It's not like I had bad gameplay or bad mechanics. Just for me, the RNG-ness of it, basically a roguelike type of game, that was the part that drove me nuts. That's why I loved Hades so much, just because there was a little bit of RNG in terms of what you got, but you were still in control of how you controlled what you got out of that random number generator. Whereas I feel like Dicey Elementals is the complete opposite. I have control over your point, over what card I choose. But then the problem is is how those cards actually play out when I'm in a match. I feel like that's where I don't have that player control, and that's the part that just turned me off personally.
So this is a paid character, but if you get I think it's the Chanter. I think it's the girl one. Basically, you start off with so many dice. I'm going to say 3, and then you have a couple of re-rolls. But the re-rolls they basically show you 3 dice, and you choose the one that you want there. So it gives you much more control. And then
that's huge.
then her special is re-roll all the dice, and then her like super special. After you beat the first area, you get a super special, and the super special is basically go down to 3 dice and take however many empty spots you have. You take enemy cards so you could play them against them.
That's some pretty powerful stuff, sir.
Yeah. So I mean, I like it. I promise I'm writing a review up for it. I also need to write a review for Anna's Quest, but I'm trying to hold off on reviewing Anna's Quest simply because I do have the playthrough, and I want to have the playthrough in the review when I write it. But the patrons of Patreon have first dibs on the early access, which I think is 7 chapters long. The games I've found recently, they're going by chapters. So I'm basically each video is a specific chapter. I think that works better across the board than going every 24 minutes or 30 minutes I cut. So it's like it might be in the mid of a conversation, it gets a little weird. So I'm going. Actually, I did that for Gibbous, I believe, too, which, by the way, was an amazing game. I loved it from start to finish.
Nice.
That was a great game. I've been playing a lot of good games. What can I say? I'm getting lucky. I know that I've said this before, but I'm trying to play Mario Golf, and it's such a letdown. It is such a freaking letdown.
So speaking of games, we're starting at our middle school. We're starting a esports club.
Mm-hmm.
And so we meet, well, I don't, but the esports coach is meeting with some like esports consultant people.
Mm-hmm.
On like, how to set it up, what to play, and etc. And the game that they really recommend, especially for middle school to get into, which is a game I'd not heard of before, is a game called Knockout City.
That's newer. That's very new.
Newer.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, and I think this is why it checks the boxes. And I found it interesting from an EA perspective, right? Because they want to pull in the young gamers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it's dodgeball, right?
Yep.
But when you look at the gameplay, it's very reminiscent of a third-person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, as I watched it, it's like, oh. So
sneaky.
What?
Sneaky.
Oh, very sneaky. You basically get the third person. It's totally over. It's not at first person. It's third person over the shoulder view.
Mm-hmm.
But you're throwing a dodgeball, but you look at it, it's the same type of the shooting mechanics as like a third person shooter game.
Mm-hmm.
But you're playing dodgeball. And I'm like, that's actually brilliant of whoever came up with that idea, because you get the same gameplay style. But now when people are like, oh, you can't, play first-person shooters in schools, it's like, well, it's not shooting anybody. You're just playing dodgeball, which we do over here in PE. Yep. And everything athletic is okay, so we can do it in a video game, right?
Maybe.
So it was interesting. So it's a game to keep an eye on, especially for the younger kids, because it kind of checks those boxes of, being friendly to play while still having those fun gameplay mechanics, as you may think.
Agreed. I think if you want to make your game well known or have the ability to take off, you've got to make it accessible to all. And thankfully, as time has gone on, the parents of these children who are going to be playing the games are those who know what video games are, and they're becoming more aware of that. I look, video games do not cause violence. People cause violence. Because you play video games does not mean you're going to go on a mass shooting spree or start running people over with cars
What?
or start stacking large objects on top of in an alleyway, and they're not going to disappear. That's Tetris, by the way. But by making it more a dodgeball game or Fall Guys, which is literally just like you got a bunch of guys running an obstacle course, and you're trying to be in the top certain percentage so you can advance. Which, by the way, those guys, the guys behind Fall Guys,
Yeah.
they are burnt out.
Hmm.
They are, because they've pushed it so hard and because they wanted to, they kept pushing out stuff, content, tweaks, special skins, all that stuff. They apparently are like, we don't want to see anything right now. Which is totally understandable. When there's the blood, sweat, and tears of creating a product, and then there's the hope and fear of your product, your baby, being introduced into the world. But at some point, you may love what you've created, but you need the ability to step back, and they rightfully deserve to be able to step back. But it's killer.
Well, the thing, of course, nowadays with how everything is so mass media, you got people pull out the pitchforks over that.
Why would you step away from the game? It's an amazing thing. If I were in your shoes, I'd be, still balls to the wall.
Like, what else do you need with your life but to invest your soul into this game? Isn't that what gives you fulfillment?
But then you run into the same issue with, let's say, you're a small-time developer. You create something that's humongous and big, and then you decide to create something new that's different, and you're going to get a bunch of people going, "Why the fuck would you do that? You had so much success with this game. Just continue. If you want to make a new game, make an expansion or a sequel to this game. Don't try to do anything different."
Well, honestly, even just look at what the Olympics with Simone Biles.
Oh boy.
Where, the whole situation where, she pulled out for, her reasons, because frankly, they don't owe us anything. I mean, it's their life, and it's the health of themselves is what should come first.
Look, I'm going to be totally honest.
Making sure they do what they need to do so that they're in a good place.
I'm going to be totally honest and upfront with you. The IOC, that's the International Olympic Committee,
Yep.
needs to be kicked in the nuts. I understand the need to maybe tweak rules or scoring mechanics, just because some of it may not make sense. But to basically handicap someone because they did too well in a previous Olympic is just ridiculously stupid.
But you got to make it more interesting and egalitarian so that everybody else feels better about themselves, sir.
Look,
and that it's closer.
What you need to go, tweak the rules. And then this is the stupid thing that people say every single time, but I still would love for this to happen. Choose a random average Joe and you don't have to put them in the same race, or you could, or game or whatever, and show how different and how difficult it is. Because when you're a professional athlete, you make shit look easy. And let me tell you, I've been watching these swimming events, and I'm going, that's awesome. But I also know in my mind that I would never be able to swim. I'm a more of a doggy paddler, let's be honest. And then there's no way in hell I'd fly across the swimming pool like they do.
Well, that's basically the Rocks the Titan games. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Where you got or I guess the show was it Joes versus Pros.
I love that show so much.
that's what the idea of those shows are, is basically showing, these guys just can't compete against the pros, basically.
Dude, I also love Bros vs. Joes was an amazing show. If you can find some clips from that, that is so much fun because these pros will put people in their place if you piss them off. And someone pissed off Herschel Walker.
Ooh.
And Herschel's like, all right. You think you could stop me from getting into the end zone? He ran him over
Nice.
with like total conviction. He's like, you know what? All right. I'll show you what I could do. What I still could do. I was like, damn, don't do it.
Take you out.
Yeah. But, yes. I think we're basically at the end, but I do want to point out a couple things. First of all, once again, thanks to our new official friend of the show, that of course is Noodle Boy Media. Seriously, check them out. If you've got a convention, I think they're centered in like the Southeast. I know I've seen them at MomoCon. I've seen them at a bunch of different anime conventions. Phenomenal photographer, and definitely willing to step in and help out with your recording needs when it comes to panels. And also just a all-around good guy, which doesn't hurt. Which, by the way, we met Noodle Boy, which was Whack Kid 47 at a convention, which is now defunct, and the pictures just came up within the last week or so. And I was like, oh, good times and also bad times.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sweaty times. Let's put it that way. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you anything on our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. Will be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.